Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Sharice. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. And today we're talking about green flags. I'm using a post from Jillian Turecki to help frame the green flags. I just think she's so great at what she's talking about when it comes to dating and being in community with another human being and framing your life around the trajectory of oneness when there are two wholes coming together. I just think she's doing great work. So I do encourage you to follow her on Instagram, YouTube. She has a channel. She interviews people and stuff. It's good stuff. Okay. So she's got the heading self-care when you decide to no longer pursue the attention of someone who isn't emotionally available to you. Now, a lot of people are emotionally unavailable, but they don't realize they're emotionally unavailable. Like they're checked on in their own emotions, or they're always searching for something outside of themselves to regulate their own emotions, sometimes through drugs, sometimes through relationships, sometimes through work. Like there's so many things people can be searching for to help fix themselves versus really being in tune with how they're feeling. Like they know how they're feeling, but they don't necessarily process it, right? And then explain it to somebody else in a healthy way. She says, run toward green flags. Someone who feels like the luckiest person to spend time with you, whose presence makes you feel alive but also safe. Someone who shares your values and wants to build with you. Like she's saying it in a simple way, but it's often hard to know what someone's intentions are because some people are wearing a mask that doesn't come off for 6 months or a year. And some people aren't consistent, right? I would say run away from inconsistency. Yeah, let that person go. But whoever makes you feel alive and safe on a consistent basis, because if they do it sometimes but not other times, that is the hallmark of a toxic relationship. One of the biggest red flags is when someone expects you to be perfect. It's when they can't see you as a multidimensional person with nuance, depth, and shortcomings. They instead judge you for being you. I would agree. In my experience, I had a previous boyfriend who said something like, you're a psychologist. I don't know why you're acting this way. Some variation of that, right? That because of my profession, I should have things together in a particular way emotionally, or I don't even know what we were talking about, right? And it stung because I'm human. And I felt like I had to remind him that I'm human like everybody else. And I am figuring things out like everybody else. And even though I have a large amount of information, doesn't mean I have 100% of the information and that I'm still going to make mistakes. Yeah, it's hard to be with somebody who constantly thinks you're doing things wrong, right? Like if they want you to be perfect or to act a certain way or to recover a certain way from an argument, it can be draining, and you don't want to feel drained constantly when you're in a relationship. Now, there are situations, because I've heard from a lot of people that I believe, looking from the outside in, are in healthy relationships. They talk about like that moving in period, or when you're just establishing like what your routines are, getting to know each other and respecting the different communication styles, appreciating the strengths and weaknesses of the other person, that it can be an adjustment period that can be hard. But hard, I don't know. I don't know how long hard is supposed to last. I don't know. What do they give people who just move in? I've never lived with a man. But that getting to know you, figuring out like how do we argue, like what is your style of communication, how much time do you need to yourself, respecting those things, I think those do take some time to get used to your way of being. But the person who is interested in walking that journey with you is going to be patient and understanding throughout, and they're not going to make you feel bad for being you, right? They're going to be open to you being vulnerable and to the two of you figuring out what it is that you want to do together. She says, just because you have chemistry with someone doesn't mean you should pursue a relationship with them. It means you need more information. I completely agree. You need to know their values. You need to know if their relationship goals align with yours. And you need to know if you feel secure with them. Slow down. Yeah, I think you get to know those things over time, right? You see the person in different situations over time, and give yourself the time to observe the person beyond the attraction. This is why I encourage just delaying sex so that you can actually get to know who a person is at their core without sex and all those feelings clouding your judgment. Chemistry is just one part of the equation. I do want you to feel a strong attraction to the person that you're going to be with, but that is not all it takes to make a long, healthy, and happy relationship last. Like, you need a foundation that is built on values and standards and goals that align. Otherwise, you all are going to be loving each other, but finding it very hard to be together when maybe you should have never been together. Maybe it was just supposed to be a sexual experience or an intimate emotional experience, or just, I don't know, whatever it was supposed to be that didn't involve making this person your whole life partner. If you all are not compatible in the things that really matter in terms of helping a relationship succeed, then it's best to not dive deep into something that like makes no sense beyond your feelings or whatever physical or sexual experience you want in this moment. An uncomfortable truth that we need to accept is that sometimes the person we want most is the person who is the least right for us. Yes, I think often people are just reenacting their childhood with a person and not realizing that they're doing it just because it feels familiar. Like, that drive to want someone so bad who you do not know, right? It's just about the fantasy or the possibilities of what could be. Like, I get it. The romantic in me gets it. The girly girl in me who's been in previous, interactions like these, I get it. But in the long term, your relationship is not going to last. It's going to be a spark that burns out pretty quickly. And then she says, and the more we pursue the attention of the unavailable, the more we interfere with the opportunity of meeting the person who is going to love us well. We need to focus our energy towards the people who see our value and stop chasing the ones who don't. I agree. I do think it's hard to focus on who is actually showing you the value without you first valuing yourself, but it's not impossible. Lots of people have been inspired by a love interest to focus on themselves, to pursue their dreams, to do the hard things. Lots of people have. So I get it. I just think it's a hard thing to recognize. But the goal is to stop going after things that are hard, like to stop constantly picking people that really don't have your best interest or aren't aligned with your goals or your values. And then the last slide in her post, her IG post, is, I learned that at the core of what makes two people compatible are the shared beliefs about what makes a relationship great and what makes a life well lived. If you can agree on this, you might have a great adventure together, but you won't be able to create a great life together. And that's the honest to God truth. And I think so many people are trying to make certain aesthetics line up when, listen, the price you pay is your happiness, your peace in the long term. It serves you best to acknowledge if an adventure is just an adventure, if this is just a summer fling, if this is just a winter, boot up situation, versus saying this is going to be my forever person when you all don't want the same things. And it's likely that you're going to become roommates who live parallel lives and are annoyed at each other all the time. I'm just saying. I love listening to people who've been through things. I love listening to people who are much older than me, who have wisdom, experience to match some of the advice that they're giving to other people. I do this with like everything in life, just trying to understand, like, how are humans navigating this? How have people done it before? If it's a thing that you're experiencing, there have been many people who've experienced it before and wrote a book about it. And I love books. They could have also, done a movie about it, all those things. But really listen to people when they talk. Listen to older married folks when they talk. If you want to be like in a healthy, loving relationship, who is in a healthy, loving relationship? How do they relate to each other? How much do they enjoy each other? What have they done to build their life? How did they talk about when they were single? What did they do? I think it gives us lots of insight. And you might find someone who wants similar things to you, and you can follow some of their blueprint to decide how you want to live your life. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Share this video with someone you think it will help. And thank you for watching.